Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a wonderful, lovely day. Thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for clicking on that video. I have a really fun project to share with you today. We are shaking it up and we're rattling it up and we're rolling it up. We're doing all things kinetic on one card. I have some fun items that I'm going to use to just create some motion on our cards that will make the recipient smile, along with a collection that's going to make the recipient smile. The two items that I'm using are from Spellbinders Summer Camp Collection. They're both designed by Allison Frazier and they're just adorable. We're going to use the skunk in the Trailside trio, but this creates all three of these cute little critters. And then we're also going to be using the Splash Days die set. This has several elements that you can add the critters to. The little hedgehog doesn't come with this set, but it has the little life vest, the bathing suit trunks, you have the bathing suit, the fishing pole, the oar, and then you have the little canoe here that I thought we'd make a couple of cards with. So cute. Now, speaking of the kinetic motion, we are shake, rattling, rolling. Let me show you what we're going to use. We're going to use Google Eyes, okay? And we're also going to be using some Action Wobbles. These are the mini ones, okay? And then we have these little spinners. I picked these up on Amazon, and it's the first time I've used them. And I fell in love with them because of the kinetic motion that it adds. I mean, I've made my own spinner on a card using the foam tape and the circles, but these glide. Oh my gosh, I'll link them down below in the description area. The package that I have has 30 spinners, and the size, there's one size of them, and they're a 1/4 inch wide, and they're about 2 millimeters high. They're about the same thickness as your foam squares. The ones that I use are from Spellbinders, so they're about the same thickness as a foam square. Okay, so they don't add that. I mean, sometimes I'll put 2 layers on a foam tape on a card, so this doesn't add very much bulk whatsoever. Okay, I'm sure there's packs that have less than them. I'll link the ones that I'm using down below, but this is what it looks like. They're gold in color. Okay, one side is 1/4 inch wide, but if you flip it over, the reverse side is slightly smaller. Okay, so it kind of looks like a little top hat. Okay, but these spin so easily. You glue this down to anything and it's just glides, it spins. I played with a sticker. I had a little penguin sticker. Okay, I put Google Eyes on it, and then all I did, let me see if you can see it in there. You can see it in there? Okay, I glued the larger side down, but I think you can do this either or. I put the larger side down, the smaller side up, and then I just used my glazing glue to secure it, but I'm sure regular glue would work good too. But look at how it spins. Are you ready? First of all, I'm barely moving it, so if a recipient opens the card, it's automatically going to move whatever you have glued to it. I mean, how fun is this? But watch, to really make it spin, this would be great for pinwheels too. Making a pinwheel card on a card would be fabulous with these little things. Okay, but watch it spin. I mean, it just goes. How cute is that? So we're not going to add this to our critter. We're going to put a wobble on our critter, but I'm going to add one of these to my sentiment. I thought it'd be really fun. Okay, so I'm going to be using these little spinners that I picked up on Amazon. So we just have a lot of kinetic motion going on our cards today. I'm going to make 2 cards. They're going to be kind of similar in style. I'm just going to switch it up a bit, but I thought we would shake, rattle, and roll. Let's do some die cutting, okay? I'm going to just do all my die cutting at once, and then we're going to build a pretty simple card, okay? I mentioned we're going to create the skunk, and to do that, I'm going to get out all the pieces. This die set basic has the base piece for all the critters, which is the legs and the face, and then you can add the other elements. Let me bring in some cardstock. I'm going to create one skunk, and then I'll make another one off camera for my next card, just to make it go a little bit faster. Okay, so we have the legs and the face, and then we have this little tummy portion, which I'm going to cut out with white cardstock. we have the tail, and then we have the tail stripe. That's going to go with white cardstock. This is the facial piece. We're going to cut that out with white. This piece, I think, goes behind the eyes. I'll cut that out with white cardstock. We have the arms, so those go with black. And then we have the little nose. There are little pieces for the eyes, but I'm not going to use them since we're going to use Google eyes. Okay? And then we have the ears. We'll cut those out with black. And I think that's all the elements that we need to create our skunk. Okay? While we're die cutting, we're going to die cut out the fishing pole. I'm going to use some Nina Desert Storm craft cardstock. And then I'm going to cut out, there's a fish. And I want a red and an orange fish. Okay, so we're going to bring in some red and orange cardstock. I'm going to die cut out this piece. They're connected, the top layer and the bottom. I'm going to cut out once with the orange, once with the red. And then we have the little detail pieces that I'm going to cut out the fishing reel portion with some silver mirror cardstock. Give it a little shine. This also has the little buckles for the life jacket on the same die. Now we have the bathing suit. This is the little girl's bathing suit. The main piece I'll cut out with light pink cardstock. And then the ruffle, I'm going to cut out twice. We're going to make a double ruffle because there's a little bow on here. And I want to put some bows on our little skunk's ears. So we'll cut that out twice. We're going to make a little boy skunk also. And so I have some breeches or some swimming trunks. For those, we're bringing in a light teal, a dark teal. The dark teal will go with the trim of the bathing suit, and then the trunks of the swimsuit we're going to go with the light. We are going to create a paddle also, so I'm going to put this with my Nina cardstock, my craft cardstock. And then I'm also going to die cut out some boat corners, but I think I want to use gold cardstock. Okay, we'll bring in some gold. And you know what? Rather than using silver, I'm going to switch it out. We're going to fancy up that reel, and we'll use gold cardstock. So I'll cut out the reel with gold, and then also the ends to the little canoe with gold. And this is from Spellbinders Treasured Series cardstock. Okay, so the lighter teal, I'm going to cut out the front of the boat. Darker, we're going to go with the darker color teal. And then we have a little bit of die cutting to do. So I'm going to run everything through my die cut machine. You know the drill. I'll be right back. My die cutting is all done. I'm going to zoom in. I already created the girl skunk. I doubled up on the tutu and put both the bows in her hair and then added the Google eyes. She's so cute, okay? She's actually going to be holding the oar here, like so. Okay, and then we're going to be putting her in the boat. So let's go ahead and put the boat together first. I'm going to use my glue. She's going to go in front of the boat. We're making a really fancy boat. I'm calling it a boat, but it's a canoe, a little canoe. Cute. So these are done. This is going to be for one card, okay? Put this to the side. Now, while I was die cutting, you're going to notice I have a sunshine, okay? I am using my Sun and Clouds. I've had this forever, but this is from Spellbinders, and I really love this sun. Now, the sun just die cuts out this piece. I have a circle punch that I just punched out a circle to go in it for a little extra dimension. Okay, so I did die cut out a sunshine because this is what we're going to have spin. Okay, I do want to put a little bit of color to this, so I'm going to use my Distress Oxide ink. This is Wild Honey. It's orangey yellow, and I'm just going to add some color to this sunshine. I always like to add color to one side of my sun, and then if I have a layering element, I'm going to do one side of that. And then I add some glue here. The side that I didn't add shading to, I put on the opposite side. And then we have a real fun sun here. Okay, that's this part. To put together our little fish, you just add a little glue. Now, I want my eyeball on the fish to be black. So just to make it quick and easy, I'm going to use my, I was going to say my black Sharpie, but I can't find it. So let me use my black gel pen. I'm just going to add some black here and here. Just layer this on top, and then your little fish's eye just stands out. Same with this one. You could even just use a black pen and it would work. Am I so far away? So these little fishes are done. I'm going to do the same thing to the center of my reel. I'm going to add some black ink, and then we'll add some glue here. Make our fishing pole. Add a little dot of glue, and then we can layer our fish. While I was die cutting, I also cut out a 1 3/4 inch circle. Okay, I just wanted, I'm going to stamp a sentiment on the outside edge of this. So if you have a sun die, you just want a little bit bigger of a circle so you can stamp a greeting. Now let's put together our little critters swim trunks. We'll add that darker piece right at the rim. And just to make this a little bit extra fancy, I want to, these little clips that go with the life, I'm going to use as little buckles. We'll just fancy them up. That way I can put them to good use. There we go. Just add a little extra detail to those britches. To create the skunk, you just add a little dot of glue here for the tail, and then you can add the stripe. I'm going to flip over his face, add some glue behind here, and then we can add that square piece. We'll add some dots of glue to the ears, and we can attach these. We have this piece that goes down the face. This really gives it the character. It's easy to line up. You just line up the hairs and then put it between his eyes and tack it down, and you have an instant little skunk. So cute. I'm going to add a dot of glue at the nose, and this little circle will die cut out 3 noses. So if you want dimension, you can stack all 3 together. I'm just going to put 1 today. And then we need to add our little front portion to our little skunk. That goes here. His little tummy portion. Okay, and then we can add a little glue here, and I'm going to tilt my little skunk because I like a tilted head. I like my critters tilting a little bit. Okay, and then we can add our little swimming trunks. I think that looks good. In this hand, I'm going to have him hold a fish. And then we'll add the tail. And then in this hand, we're going to have him holding the fishing pole. Now it does take a little bit of time for the cardstock to grab that gold mirror. So I'm going to use my tweezers, and we will let this set here. Okay? In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and put some Googly eyes. The Googly eyes that I'm using are adhesive backed, but it's really hard to remove the adhesive on the backing. You definitely need a pokey tool to do that. And I have this pack that I wanted to refill, and so I thought I was ordering the same one, and I ended up getting this in the mail. So I'll link one of these down in the description area, but they're pretty inexpensive. So now we have this cute little skunk. We have this little guy with the fancy little britches. And then we also have this little girl that's going to be standing in front of a canoe here. Now we're going to stamp our greeting. Okay, the greeting that I chose for today, there is a greeting that is part of this collection, but I didn't pick it up. I just wanted to use what I had. And this set here is called Jump for Joy Sentiments. And I like that there's some curved greetings in here. Let's make a You Make Me Smile card. I think that would be really fun. And then on the other card, we're going to make a Enjoy Your Birthday. Or you could put Happy Birthday or Thanks So Much. If you have any curved stamps, you can use those. Let me bring in my black ink. Now I'm also going to bring in some stickers. These are from American Crafts. This is from the Adventurous collection. And there's smaller lettered stickers. And I'm going to put the letters, let's put high in here. I like that there's a rainbow of colors. So I'm just going to put an H and an I to fill in my sunshine. And then we're going to add a dot. I'm going to use my glazing glue. I'm just going to add a dot here. And then I'm going to put this one, for this one, I'm going to put the smaller end on the bottom. And then I'm going to add a dot of glue to the top. I'll add a dot on the top. And I'm using my glazing glue because I just think it's going to be stronger than regular glue. But that's just a theory. But I'm going to take my high, and then I'm going to add that to the very top. Just making sure it's centered. And then I'm going to let that dry. And we're going to just ink blend with some Distress Oxide inks. But I am going to mask off the edges. So I'm bringing in some tape here. I'm going to pick up a little ink here. And we're going to add a little color at the top. And then I'm going to add my mowed lawn at the bottom. I do like that little white line right in the middle. Okay, I'm going to use my Distress Spritz sprayer. And I'm just going to add some water droplets here. It's been a while since I did this. And I really kind of like the effect. So we'll let that oxidize. And I think that will make a great background for our card. Okay, I went ahead and put an A2 panel of fog cardstock on top of my card base. Okay, and then we're going to glue this to the center of my card base. Now I have my wobbles here. We're just going to remove the release paper off of one side. This is going to go behind my little, right in the center behind my little skunk here. Press that down really good. So that's what it looks like. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing with this little girl. Now for this little guy, let's go ahead and place our greeting up here in this corner. And then he's going to go over here. We're going to center him. I'm just going to give him a good press. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to glue down the spinner with my tape runner. And we're going to overlap here on the top. And you know, I think I want some faux stitching. I'm going to use my black gel pen, and I'm going to do some faux stitching around the perimeter of my ink blended area. I just think it kind of ties everything together. And then I did put faux stitching on the other side of my greeting. Okay, I did the same thing to this one, but this one we need to add our boat to the very bottom. We'll put her over here towards the right. Okay, give it a good press. And then we can add our Enjoy Your Birthday over here on this side. Give that a good press here. And then this card's all done. And I'm not going to add any more to the cards because I think it has a lot going on. But I think they're really cute. This is our little girl card. Okay, look at, you can barely move it and that sunshine just goes crazy. But you could really spin it. You can probably hear it. So cute. And then we have a little wobble with those eyes. And then we also have this cute little You Make Me Smile card. This little guy, that fishing pole just goes crazy. 2 fun kinetic filled cards for you today. I hope you enjoyed my projects. I'll list everything down below in the description area. But have a wonderful rest of your day and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.